GOP Schilling is on the record saying health care reform needs to be a priority in the country. We've seen in recent years, though, no bipartisanship can be found in Congress, and it's one of the biggest issues again this election year. Here's that part of our conversation. Your positions on health care that I've seen on your website, your health care reform, focuses on things like putting limits on malpractice lawsuits, being able to buy insurance across state lines to increase competition. We've seen, though, millions of Americans lose their jobs during this crisis, jobs that often do provide health insurance. What about the argument that the pandemic highlights a weakness in the employer-based insurance system?
Yeah, well, this is a temporary thing, and I think that's part of what PPP helped some of the companies such as mine do, is not only help people maintain the health care that they have, but also maintain a paycheck all the way through. So, I think it does, shine a light on that, especially if this thing were to go for 6 months or a year. I think is really important. I talk about competing across state lines. I think is very important. Another one that's huge that my family and I have used for years and years is the HSA accounts, healthcare savings accounts, that President Barack Obama tried to eliminate during his administration. This has large deductibles, but the premiums are very inexpensive. $200 a month for a family of 10 is pretty darn good. But then what happens is I can take that extra $300 that I would have been paying, put that into the health savings account. 3 of our children, we were actually able to use that health savings account to go and negotiate, force me to be a consumer and go and negotiate with the doctor, with the hospital, and basically get the prices, cut in half or even more. So I think there's no one silver bullet with all of that, but I think it's all about putting the ideas together and actually listening to people to try to fix it.
You are recovering from a serious condition. You have some financial means as a successful businessman that a lot of Americans don't when it comes to medical coverage. I guess, how do you help the people who don't qualify for Medicaid or are too young for Medicare?
So the people that have, health conditions, is that what you're saying?
Well, just people who have problems affording insurance in general.
Yeah, so I think so you have some people that don't qualify for Medicaid, Medicare. So I think that there's got to be some type of stop gaps to try to help these people. With the COVID-19, this has been pretty tough. I know some people that I've actually had to help them out a little bit to make sure that their coverage didn't lapse off and didn't lose it. So I think this is why it's important to get out of debt as a nation, so that when we have something like this happen, then we've got the money to take care of people out there. But for the folks that are just on down and out, or you just lost your job and you're trying to maintain that premium, I think that's where maybe that would be the next round of COVID-19 assistance that could help these people. And the thing is traveling through the bureaucracy is very, very difficult to do. But luckily for me, I've got I'll just be forward. My premium on my policy is $500 per month. And that covers my whole family. There's only 5 of the kids here still with my wife, but it's unfortunate that I've got that. I got large deductibles, and I got to figure out where I'm going to pay that. But at the same time, I think it's important to get some type of catastrophic type thing, and maybe even an HSA type situation for people who are getting health care assistance from the government, to where they could actually figure out how to use that as a consumer, rather than just showing up to the emergency room with a fat lip, just little things like that.
My conversation with Iowa congressional candidate GOP Schilling. We talked a lot more about health care and why he's not shy about his support of President Trump. That's in web extras online at ourquadcities.com.